What's up, everybody? It is not Nick Cameron, Nick Boom Boom Cameron. It is I, Keefy of GhostCodeMag.com. You are watching the Glacially Musical Podcast, minus the host, Nick Cameron, today. With me is the third host, Don Dillamont. How are you doing, Don? No fancy nicknames.
Keefe, how you doing, man? I know Nick is the king of the fancy nicknames, so we have to honor his absence by not giving each other
I
funky names tonight,
feel
I
like,
guess.
I've had four consistent nicknames over my life. Keefy, which continues to stay.
Yeah.
Cousin It, when I had long hair in front of my face.
Mhm.
Uncle Fester for a time when I went bald.
That's
Uh,
amazing.
Beavis, because obviously I am kind of like a human Beavis. I was briefly called Cartman, but like him being kind of anti-Semitic is terrible to look. Even if I'm not religious, it still kind of hurt. And Chubby, which was actually a term of endearment, not because I'm chubby, but it was a name.
Ah,
Um, Also because I'm chubby. So like yeah, that's been once I was called meatloaf, I didn't allow that to stick. I was like, no, that's gonna be derogatory. I'm not gonna be called meatloaf, even though
yeah.
I love some of his stuff. How are you, man? How are you?
Dude, I'm doing good, man, but I'm like you. I had the nice little run of nicknames, obvious ironically, I was called Butthead a lot because I actually worked at a fast food place and I used to have to wear a red like baseball cap and
The
a
visor.
polo shirt, and then I had braces, and then so I was Butthead all the time, and then I was Don, I was Donnie, then I was Spanky, which I just never really that one didn't stick,
Our gang, Little
obviously.
Rascals, our gang.
Probably, and then and then I've been called many other things that didn't stick though. But Don, I will take.
What's
So,
the Will Ferrell movie, Talladega Nights?
oh,
where
Talladega
where
Nights.
where Ricky Bobby, he's disgraced from racing and he's like delivering pizzas on a Schwinn or whatever the fuck, a Huffy, and he rings the doorbell of like the hotel his dad is hiding out in selling weed. And he's like, Hugalo's Pizza, we are pizza. And he's like, we are pizza. And he's like, I have to say it, it's on the hat. It's like demoralized. I used to be in NASCAR and make like $1 million a year, and now I'm
Oh,
delivering.
it was the
Is that a
worst.
Huffy, son? That's a good looking bike there, son. Like fucking
Is that a Huffy?
Gary Cole is incredible. Like he really doesn't get enough credit for like the unbelievable comedy career he has had. He really should
Dude,
have
that dude is
gotten something
badass, actually, to be
so
honest.
good. Pineapple Express and Office Space and fucking like he's in so many good things. Like, that one as Reese Bobby. I found a whole rat in my Cobb salad. Applebee's probably does have rats, everybody. You should not eat there unless you like frozen reheated food. So hey, Glacially Musical Podcast, already Amtrak and off the rails. Here's how we do the show. We do the greeting. We already just did it. We do the beer check. Chances are only Don has a beer. We do a vinyl check. I have some cool ones. We do a little bit of news. And then we do the meat of the episode. And the meat of the episode, if you are here, you're here for Alice in Chains. We are starting our first series on Alice in Chains, probably not our last, to be honest. We're going to take you through the early era of the band, the Lane Staley years, predominantly here, and lots of highlights and lowlights to talk about, but a lot of highlights musically. This is one of my favorite bands. I'm not even going to hide it. There's no point in hiding it. Um, the Glacially Musical non-beer of the week is a Liquid Death Cherry Obituary. Just raw dogging it out of the can. Don, what's your drink?
Dude, I'm honoring Nick's absence by not drinking tonight, actually. So I'm actually having a Sprite and Jack. So,
I mean, that's alcohol. I mean, it counts.
yeah, yeah. It's
We
not
did a
beer.
whole episode where we did whiskey, and we did a whole episode where we did mixed drinks a couple. And there was in one episode he was just getting fucking hammered the whole time, like aggressively punishment drinking, I'll call it. So yeah, cheers. Cheers. And here's to
Nick,
Nick. We'll get you back next week.
cheers, man. Cheers, bro.
Punishment drinking. That should be a whole thing. No finger fudge pour today because no one poured a
Uh,
beer.
but we should at least have a drinking game episode,
We could.
you know?
Again,
Like,
I
like,
still feel like we do Almost Famous, and every time someone says it's all happening, which would be a lot in the beginning and then not as much at the end.
Exactly.
I will let you be in the one hole for the rest of the episode. Share with me your vinyl check today, and then I will share mine.
All right, so well, my vinyl check is I'm gonna have to drop two here because I know you guys always tell me not to blow my load in one episode, but this was too good. But my first one has been my also obsession since I told you about it is the Esben and the Witch Hold Sacred album. Man, I have not. This is like the album that I did not know that existed that I needed it to exist. It's like this great combination of like, and it's got like that kind of Emma Ruth Rundle, that kind of like neo psychedelic folk, but it's so dreary and it's like it almost makes Mazzy Star sound like pop band. Like it's incredible. Great album. I can't stop listening to it. And then finally, my other favorite is the Apple reissue finally came out, Mother Love Bone, which is fantastic, and it is on a no liner notes or anything, but it does come in the really cool paper and mylar sleeve all the way through, and it is a beautiful Halloween pumpkin orange. So, and it
Yeah.
sounds fantastic. It sounds fantastic. So I'm super happy. You can definitely tell some work was put into it to make it sound really good. 35th anniversary remaster. Definitely
Yeah.
pick that up if y'all can.
Ironic and apropos that you have Mother Love Bone because they will come up today. The Seattle scene was very incestuous. I may too eventually get that record. I love Chloe Dancer and Crown of Thorns. I've done it at
Oh,
karaoke. It's a lot of stamina to do that song.
dude, that
Andrew Wood was
is.
an
Mm.
incredible singer. He really didn't have the material and really like accentuate him well, even though a lot of
Mhm.
it came from him. I don't know if he was just trying to like throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, like a Zeppelin, except like all of Zeppelin's albums at once. Um,
What do you mean? Do you mean overall sound in general, or like the songwriting, or like
I think
what?
the songcraft, like they were trying everything, right? Ballads, rock songs, glam
Oh,
rock, heavy metal, hard rock, and
did
just
did
approaching the edge of heavy metal.
did they covered it all, man? I mean, like Andy was a huge sleaze rock fan, and like one of his favorite bands was Junkyard. And so like I always loved hearing that it's almost like they covered so much ground in like one and a half albums that it was like they had some glam, they had rock, they had like you said, and the ballads were just, I mean, almost Aerosmith level, to be honest, which I thought was incredible, but so much more I feel like we could have heard from them, which we'll never know.
We will never know. We will never know. Don't do heroin, everybody. That's just bad for you. I don't know anybody that's been like, heroin is a game changer for me. I'm so fucking productive and happy and healthy. No one said, no one ever. Don't do that shit. It's bad for you. So I have a two for today, and one of these is thanks to you. So a couple of weeks back, I was pet sitting at my old domicile in Sassoon City, and I went to one of my favorite places. I went to two of my favorite places, Retroactive Records and Games, and I went to Waterfront Comics. And when I was at Retroactive Records and Games, I found a Led Zeppelin into the outdoor pressing, uh, like practically brand new except the paper wrapper. So this is a 79 pressing. I texted you or messaged you.
Yeah.
I was like, is this thing, I don't care if it's worth a lot of money. I see them going
Mhm.
for a lot of money mint. This isn't
Yeah.
mint, but like it's almost unplayed when I show it to you. So I grew up with Zeppelin. I love Zeppelin, still one of my favorite bands ever, in the original wrapping of the brown paper. And the original albums, like the limited edition UK variants, I think had the color wipe on the sleeve, right? So it like
Yes. Yeah.
you would wet the front cover, right?
Oh man, that
You'd
is a
wet that.
beautiful copy.
You'd wet that. Yeah, it's like literally flawless. The paper's wrinkly, but because it was like,
That looks like pristine.
well, wait till you see the record. So it has all the original paper inserts.
Wow.
And again, when I show this to you, you're it Smells like somebody's basement, but not like in a shitty, horrible way. Not like in a Ed Gein way. Watching the new Ed Gein series, oof, you need drugs or something. I was on a lot of drugs when I watched it. But anyway, here we go with the Swan Song label. Look at how cherry this motherfucker is.
Holy
I mean, that is
fuck.
like maybe it was played twice. I mean, maybe it's got like one little scriggle on it, but like it's solidly beautiful, right? Like I don't care. I don't care about like the bruising of 79 and I
Mm-mm.
just want it to play right. I don't care about what shape it's in, as you'll see in my next check. So that's really fucking cool. I love Zeppelin, and that's a big fan. I don't have a lot of randomly don't have a lot of Zeppelin on vinyl, just a few.
Yeah,
And I didn't
same.
have this one. I didn't have this one because I've heard so much Zeppelin in my life. There's other things I'd rather collect and get first. I feel like you can always get a Zeppelin. And then the second guy, this is in terrible shape, but I saw it and I was like, that was $22. They're going for an average of 35 to 40. And then if you have like a brand new mint one with the paper unspoiled, it's like four or
Yeah.
500 bucks.
You fucking robbed them of that. That is
Well,
a,
I don't want to think I robbed them because then I bought this, which is garbage. But like,
well, I was
it's
about to say,
beautiful garbage.
for all the shit we overpay for, sometimes it's nice to find a deal.
So this is incredible. I saw this and this came right like also the Zeppelin or Kiss or anything. This hit me
Mhm.
like a bolt from the blue of my childhood. This is the book and record set of the $6 Million Man
No!
with a story on record and then a comic book you read as the story goes.
That
Now,
is,
this thing is beat to hell and the record is fucking trashed. It's all fucked up. But I was like, I will pay $10 for this. So the front cover, right, in the mylar, did not play it yet. I know it's not going to play. It's not going to be one of the shit to play it. It's just to have. I would almost frame this, right?
dude,
Like
you
the
gotta
back
drop it in
cover.
the spin clean though and see what happens.
Yeah, maybe. So again, I don't know how to present this without fucking it up, but so it's a gatefold with a comic book, basically a Bionic Man comic book that the record is the story of. And then you read, it smells like an old comic book. Comic Con is this weekend
Dude,
in New York City, right? And it comes there with a sleeve, so I need to put it in out of mylar, inner mylar. $6 Million Man, 33 RPM, Birth of the Bionic Man, 1977, Universal City Studios Inc. record. Powerful. These are the series that they did a Batman, Star Trek, Superman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, Kojak for some reason. Who loves you, baby?
dude,
And
I
this was
would
the
pay top
last one.
dollar for a Kojak
I
one of
would
that.
love a Kojak with a lollipop and everything. Crime takes a beating as Captain America, Fantastic Four, the Hulk, Batman, Spider-Man, Zap the Lawless, High Adventure in Space, Excitement come to life in the breathtaking Star Trek, Planet of the Apes, and Space 1999, which I also fucking love. You have no idea. Um, $6 Million Man, Conan, Wonder Woman, The Justice League, and Gemini Man stories. Gemini Man, I think I vaguely remember. So
Oh my God.
there are a bunch of 12 inch 33 and a third RPMs with a 12-inch deluxe book. That's one of these. And then there are 7-inch 45 RPM records with a 10-inch color book. And there's a bunch of them. Captain America, Fantastic Four, Frankenstein, Dracula, The Man Thing, Curse of the Werewolf, which I love. Marvel Man, one of my favorite.
Oh
Planet
yeah.
of the Apes, serialized, a whole bunch of them. Spider-Man's, Star Trek, Space 1999, Conan, other Batmans. So pretty fucking great. I just needed to own this. I'm sure I had like the Spider-Man one as a kid. And I saw this and I was like, I have to buy this. And there's like don't,
Yeah.
the back cover's got like a panel. It's like, don't be a fool, Austin. And he's wearing like a karate gi and he had just bitch slapped this fucking guy in a suit, like, like neck chop, right in the fucking. So this is fucking amazing, and it's beat to shit. I was like, I'll give you $10 for this. He was like, yeah, sure. So you get one, you don't get. You give, you get.
Dude, you remember earlier in the year when I was like, I got obsessed with sending fan mail. Like I just thought I was gonna send fan mail, like written mail and everything. So I hit like I sent like 6 different letters to different people. And the one reply I got was Sarah McLachlan, which was incredible. She sent me an autographed picture with my name on it. I was just like, oh my
Great.
God. Okay. But what I was just thinking was, dude,
Hank and the monkey to Sarah
Lee made,
Malone.
dude, arms of the angel, baby. But Lee Majors is still alive, man. We should track his address down and see, be like, hey, can we send you this record and you sign it for it?
He might do it. I feel like he's probably all right. I feel like he's the alternate universe Eastwood, right? Eastwood was incredible and became a douche, and I feel like
Oh yeah.
Shatner and Lee Majors turned good.
Dude, Shatner's just
I
everything about
asked my
Shatner is
friend
awesome.
Henry Rollins, why don't you shake Rush Limbaugh's hand? I'll tell you that story if you haven't heard it another time. Uh,
Or like when he's talking to Henry Rollins about the making that album, he's like, Henry, let me tell you, I want to make an album.
too
So amazing.
excited. Gonna shoot in his fucking Starfleet pants with jizz socks tucked into the boots in the year 2335, and jizz is gonna run down his thighs and into his socks. It's not a good feeling. It's gotta be dried up.
It's amazing.
Smoke, Scotty, it's Kirk. Beam me up. I have cum in my pants from kissing green alien women. I'd kiss the shit out of a green alien woman if I
And
had the chance.
Spock. Oh yeah. Oh, dude, seriously.
And then nobody
Well,
was better. McCoy was always my favorite. Like, that
damn it,
damn
Jim, I'm
green
a
Vulcan blood. He's
doctor.
almost racist, almost alienist, speciesist, almost for a doctor. He's almost, he wanted to be like, you fucking Vulcan, I hate you. Like, just once. He wanted to let one rip, but he didn't.
I love that you just said alienist. That was
Yeah, I don't know.
amazing.
Like, whatever. Whatever. I'm such a snowflake bastard. Don, do you have any news?
So really just the news that I have, and I'll keep it pretty quick, was that I saw Bruce Dickinson in Detroit week before last, and it was a top 10 lifetime show for me. It was absolutely spectacular. Like, you know, you really get to, not that you don't know, we don't know this already, but when you take Bruce out of the equation and you put him on his own stage, leave him to his own devices to play his own material, man, some of that stuff rivals some of the Maiden material, in my opinion. Like, I feel like he has some strong material, and the set list was fantastic. Did one Maiden song, Flash of the Blade, which, to be honest, was like the down part of of the set because everything was so. I don't know. I think I was more excited to hear the solo stuff more than anything. And so it was incredible. Great show. Fantastic night. Like Bruce was in great, really great form. My wife is a trooper for pun intended for going to the show with me, and she actually enjoyed. She actually commented a few times how much she liked Tears of the Dragon, which was cool. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I guess he just wrapped the tour up. They just ended the tour, and they did a version of Revelations and at the LA show, which I would have loved to have seen that. But Bruce was fantastic. I guess in other news too, you have two black metal wash-ups, Abaddon and Mantis from Venom, who are now kind of going off on their own. They're wanting to call themselves Venom. So now we're gonna have a Venom, and a Venom Inc. And yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not playing favorites here, but those two guys are just asses anyway. Like, I felt like they were just, they jumped ship hoping Kronos was going to grab onto him and go, let's do this. And Kronos was like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, I don't need you guys. I'm doing just fine. And so
Right.
it's a
I was
mess. I hate,
meaning to ask you about that. So they screwed Tony. That's the number one thing. Who
oh,
kind
yeah.
of saved the band. I know you don't want to get into it because maybe he's a
Yeah.
friend, but like they screwed him.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And
They
like I
screwed
said,
him
like
over.
yeah, yeah, I can say this all unbiased anyway, because Tony is a good friend of mine, but I don't let things like that intervene and like whatever. But the bottom line was that, he came in and gave those guys new life, like worked his ass off, put together an incredible tour. They hit America twice, three times, did some incredible shows, and then, like, he when Mantis was having health issues, he was like, dude, take your time, get better. He goes, but we have to do these shows because we're obligated to them. We've signed, we're contracted. They went and did the shows and everything. And while he was out on the road, Mantis was just like talking shit, all over the internet about it. And it's a mess. I hate to see it happen, but I have to give Tony Demolition Man, um, that Dolan the credit for actually sticking it out, doing well, put out two great records. They're gonna put out another one, but as these guys, they're just gonna try to be another Venom like scab act, I guess, and so
Venom
not
Light.
Venom light. It's like diet Venom, but
Lite, yeah, like Diet Right, not even Diet Coke, but Diet Right, Rite.
diet right. I haven't
Yeah.
seen that in years, but other than that, that was all I had that was really sticking out. But I think I know what you're going to talk about, but I want to hear it.
Yeah, there's a few things. So I didn't really talk about it from my birthday the week after, but I did see Baroness on the Red and Blue tour. It was fucking phenomenal. I can't imagine a band being better than them, and they only played those two records and didn't even play anything else, which is wild. And it was phenomenal. So I've seen quite a bunch of good shows, and I have probably going to see Priest and Cooper and Corrosion next week in Mountain View. So we'll see. And then possibly Dark Angel, but that might be a little too much for me. I'd like to go. We'll see. Um, Big news of the week is Ace Frehley has an accident in the studio that causes him, due to injury, to stop recording his Ace Frehley Origins, whatever the fuck volume bullshit that is. I'm not interested in Ace Frehley covers. I'd rather have granted his last album of originals also wasn't good, but
No,
like
not at
I'd
all.
rather him keep trying and failing at being original than doing covers. That's just me, and I love cover songs. Gene had a car accident today in Malibu, apparently fainted behind the wheel. He's on some new meds, and they told him to drink a lot more water, and he wasn't hydrating at all, so he fainted. He's lucky he wasn't killed. He crashed into a parked car on Malibu on the Pacific Coast Highway, which
Mm.
is like he also could have went off a cliff. He also could have died. Like I'm not rooting for that. I'm not. He's not always the best guy, but like I
Nah,
don't want him to die either. That's mean and horrible.
no,
Um,
yeah, that was really actually some pretty scary news to hear today.
yeah. What else? We started watching Into the Void. I'm not finished yet. I don't know if you finished it. It's a real hard watch, some of these episodes.
I just got it.
And
I just finished with the enemy
okay, yeah.
episode,
The
so I haven't
second,
gone into the third one. But boy, that was a dark hit, man. I
yeah. I was
never knew
surprised.
any.
Yeah.
I only knew them by name, and
Yeah.
like even then, I was just always like they were just kind of like a off the cuff kind of.
Yeah. They're never really more than a footnote. So this was interesting
Yeah.
to see them get like a whole episode unto themselves and be
Mhm.
celebrated, but in a good way. For the good that happened, not the bad.
I wonder if this is going to bring on like some sort of like a reunion tour or something with like because I feel like these things kind of get set up for that. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
Well, making the band on VH1 was absolutely like a ploy by managers to get their band on so they could drum up interest to reunite and tour.
oh yeah,
But some of those things were like, no, I'm not going to reunite with my brother. Fuck that guy. Fucking Flock of Seagulls with your
oh,
three songs. Um, I feel like
like
that guy should come out with a wig that simulates the hair he doesn't have anymore, whatever that fucking do was.
the seagull.
Yeah, the seagull.
I just always thought that's what that
The
was.
seagull flocked to my head. Um, I watched the No Escape from Now Ozzy Osbourne documentary. Bring a lot of tissues. I choked up multiple times. It's brutal. And I heard the BBC one is brutal, like unflinching.
That's
This
the one I
is,
heard was like, yeah, I
but
heard
this
the
is also
BBC one.
like does devastated me. I stayed up late to watch it. I had an early morning this morning, at early call for me, and I was like, I'm fighting sleep to try to stay awake and watch this thing so I could do a thoughtful review later. But it's
Mm,
like hard. It's if you love
yeah.
Ozzy, it's hard. It makes Sharon look sympathetic for the first time ever. You feel genuinely bad for her. She actually has emotions and she's not like a heartless harpy. She's actually a feeling human person. Amy is very heavily featured. Kelly is very lovely. Jack is great, of course. You see Ozzy's.
Jack has turned into such a fantastic human
Yeah,
being
I met
though,
him like for the God Bless Ozzy Osbourne thing like 15 years ago.
Ah,
He was wonderful and very nice and wanted to give me an interview, and then he was kind of pushed away from me by somebody. And you see Ozzy's extended family for the first time in a long time. Not heavily featured, but like they're there. And then, Andrew Watt is very heavily talked about. And there's a lot of stuff in here that I think most Ozzy fans were not aware of. He suffered much more than you even realize.
oh,
He went through
yeah.
much more than you can know. And I'll just sum it up by saying, like, I think everybody was keenly aware how unwell he was. And even he, at moments, you can see like the glint in his eye and the mischief in his face. And sometimes he's very with it and present, and other times just like he's gone on drugs and meds because he was so beat down and depressed and beat from illness. And those records really did save his life. Like, regardless of whether they were good or not, regardless of whether he sings on them, regardless of whatever, the cover with Post Malone cheered him up immensely. And then he was like, yeah, let's make music. I can't do anything else. Let's go make some records.
Which, by the
Um,
way, I thought that song was actually quite good
that
when I heard
song's
it. Like,
pretty
I
great.
thought it
Yeah.
was really great, to be
They
honest,
have a little thing with him and Billy Morrison toward the end, which is nice. I always
Well,
felt like
actually,
Billy Morrison
did
must have had photos of Ozzy with farm animals or something to get him to do all these features with him. Like, they're not that, they can't be that close. Were they really that close? I don't know.
he was in Warrant.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
he was in the
like
cult
later
for a
stage.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in the cult. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
he was
right.
yeah, so he's good. He's I'm not saying he's not a bad artist at
Uh,
all. I just think like they kind of broke Ozzy's chops to come in and do a music video with him when he was like, I can't function. I don't have much left in the tank.
mhm.
But yeah, it's a hard watch. It's a real hard fucking watch. What else? What else is happening? Did I miss the big foreigner news? Is there foreigner news?
No, but there's the
Oh, Rush, of course. Yeah,
yes,
Rush. So
thank
Rush is
you.
back.
Okay.
This is a lot of people have asked me about this privately, and I did a live stream about it, and we wrote about it. I didn't, I did not have this on my bucket list. I guess they were playing coy the entire last 2 years, and it was like, oh, it would be so wonderful to play again with Alex, or me. I would never rule it out that we will play again someday, but I just don't know how or when. And they've
Right.
clearly been jamming for months. They're planning a stage show. They're going to augment the band with other musicians. I think so. Getty and Alex don't have to play as much keyboards, and or Getty doesn't have to do as much keyboard stuff,
Mhm.
and maybe a second guitar player. I think they've been out of the game for. I'm not saying they've been inactive because Alex has his own other band, Eon, and
Yeah.
Getty had a solo record and a book tour, and his book is phenomenal. But they're 10 years older than when they last, over 10 years older than when they last played this music. And they're going to do like a 35 song set every night, just like the Rush 40 tour. So, like, I
Mhm.
don't know if that's very ambitious or not. How do you feel publicly about this Rush reunion without Neil?
I'm all for it. And I'll be honest, because if anyone's gonna pull it off or and do it with like any level of class or integrity, it's gonna be Rush. Like those guys have no need to get back together. And I mean, other than just the pure joy of playing on stage with each other, Alex has still got it, Getty still got it. As we know, Alex was suffering from some low key arthritis and whatnot, which is probably why they're going to bring in some auxiliary players, like a keyboard player and a secondary guitar. Maybe the guy will be, I don't know, maybe there'll be a keyboard slash guitar who will kind of pad the songs a little so that Alex can be a little more free to do whatever. But I think it's also the fact that they didn't go with like a high profile drummer says a lot too. Like they could have turned this into a freak show and instead we're just like, we found this great drummer who did this tribute with us. We thought she was fantastic. We batted it around. We were like, it would be fun. Let's do this. And I don't know if you've paid attention to the dates, but how it looks like they're all fly out dates because yeah, they're almost all 2 night stands with one night with a break in between. So they're really only they're doing like one show, a break, then another show, and then taking like a week off. And then they're doing another show, a break, another show, and then taking another week. So like I mean, I feel like they are at least they know their limitations, I think. And they might actually be like, I don't know, like shooting the load a little too soon because maybe they could do more. But I think they probably were like, this is probably plenty. Let's do this, see how we feel at the end of this, and if we can do more, we will. But I'm also kind of expecting a potential residency, maybe Sphere.
And that makes total sense. I totally agree about the non-celebrity drummer. In fact, I think it's actually very bold and inspired to not pick. Many names have been bandied about. I said Danny Carey of Tool. Portnoy has been begging to do it.
Oh yeah,
Mangini could use a job. Like he's out there. Anybody that auditioned for Dream Theater back in the day when Mangini got the job. So Marco Miniman. I know that Crimson is supposed to come back at some point. I mean, Gavin Harrison comes to mind. He would be phenomenal on the drums there. Um,
I
but
mean,
yeah,
there were so many different people that like in my mind I was like I could think of, but
Thomas
every one of
Pridgeon.
them, yeah, right. But every one of them just kind of it's just screamed kind of freak show to me. Do you know what I mean? Like it'd be like, Rush with this high profile drummer that's gonna,
Yeah,
so like to me that their choice was, I think, was very strategic. It made it more
yeah.
about the music
It
and
makes it about the
about the
music. It puts the
actual
yeah. It puts the
takes the
onus.
focus off of being like
Yeah,
a
puts the
wow.
focus on them also.
Yeah.
Like it keeps the focus with them and allows them to pay tribute to Neil. And I know there's a certain segment of Rush fans who will not support this. I'm sure there's been a backlash. I haven't noticed it, but I'm sure it's there. Negative comments. You can't replace him. The wife and the daughter co-signed it. Co-signed
Yep.
her, Anika Niles. She
Hmm.
played with Jeff Beck. That's resume enough for me. She's also
Yep.
a university teacher. She's got millions of views on her YouTube of covers, especially Rush covers. She's brilliant. No one will be Neil. No one can be Neil. And I'm going to be honest with you, and I love Rush, and I saw Rush, like I said, 3 out of 4 years in the 80s.
Hmm.
Changed my whole worldview of how music could be and be performed and be presented. The older I get, I'm not so loving Neil's lyrics. I hate fucking Ayn Rand or whatever, Ayn Rand. Fuck her.
Oh yeah, Ayn Rand.
She's a
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
cunt on wheels, and I don't give a shit about
yeah.
libertarians.
I was yeah. I was probably one of the like not a big fan of 2112, and everyone's like,
Oh, I love 2112, but like
I just
I
didn't
think his
love it,
later stuff like a little too get let's give a little not give too much credit to his white suburban Ontario upbringing and
Yeah,
his view of urban people, and then he traveled the world and he never commented again on any of that. So like I
yeah.
don't know, I'm not knocking him. Look, the guy's dead. He's brilliant.
Hmm.
Rush would not have been as good a band without him as the lyricist. They certainly
Oh
weren't a
God,
good
no.
band without him as the drummer. Nothing against Rutsy. Sorry, not
Yeah.
sorry. Not a great band. They were
I mean, they
barely a
were a
Led
power
Zeppelin.
trio. They were a power
Barely.
trio Zeppelin.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
weren't
that's all
trying
it
to be
was.
Zeppelin and bad at it because Getty is not a naturally great singer. I know that will be blasphemy to other people. He's not a
Yeah.
naturally great singer. He's got just like Roger. He's got a voice that can convey emotions well. I don't think he's a great singer. No one considers Geddy Lee one of the greatest singers ever in rock.
No.
No one.
But that was his plus was that his voice was the vehicle that drove the lyrics. So it
Yeah.
didn't have to be greatly sung. It had to be audible, so if you could understand the lyrics, you know, the message was being sent already. I just think they're fun. And I think they're surprisingly to a lot of people who don't know Rush are fucking hilarious people. Like they're just great humor, great everything. I'm excited. I think if anyone deserves this, it's them. And I think they're doing it for the right reasons.
Right on. Agreed. One last thing of note. Queensryche, former Queensryche drummer, founder, whatever, Scott Rockenfeld. I didn't really delve deep into this. Did you see that he put up an album for pre-order on his social media as well as merch packages?
I did see that, and I'm like
Do you know anything about it? Because
horrifyingly.
I'm scared to look if it's original music or not.
I was just gonna say I'm like horrifyingly like like curious, and I haven't looked into it because I'm kind of afraid to, but I don't know. But like I all I know is that he definitely has been estranged from Queensryche for some time now. Like God, I mean,
10
at
years,
least 10 years. Yeah, okay.
maybe more.
Yeah, and I do also remember that there was some talk at one point that, and it was rumor, not talk from any camp, but that he was going to be rejoining with Tate. But this was like years ago. This would have been like
I
8
can't
years
see
ago
it.
or
They hate
so,
each other.
you know. But yeah, they don't. But it's I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out if any of the viewers out there know anything about it,
Yeah, so I just went
or
to
even excited about it.
scottrockmusic.com and he has pre-orders
So
now available for the new album Unchained by Rockenfield. That's his album. He's got drums, autographed drumsticks, drum heads, hats, shirts, CDs, vinyl. He's got a new song available now, Warrior. Buy the single now. He's got a Wix website that he made himself. Very cute.
good. I'm
And it
looking at
looks like a
this.
new song. These don't look like songs I know anything about. So,
No, I don't know any of them, but um,
all right.
I mean, they can't be any worse than what Queensryche's been putting out now with
Oh,
Shaka on vocals. But hey,
I like Queensryche with Todd.
yeah, I'm always gonna be Team Tate, man. That guy has always been my underdog, but I don't
Here's
know.
some records Scott played on, apparently soundtrack work. He's been doing quite a lot of Call of Duty Black Ops, Elysium, Terminator Dark Fate, not a great movie, but a Terminator movie nonetheless. After Earth, Southern Tale, uh, Rogue One, a Star Wars story. That's cool. The Shallow, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, The 33, Time Warner Company, Hair of the Dog, the movie, Rockin' Raps, custom drum finishes and supplies with, for some reason, a picture of Lady Gaga. Yeah, I'm baffled. Duck Dynasty, Joey Jordison, who is dead a long time now, and a few other things. Okay.
That's
Um,
interesting that he did that because Fred Coury, who was in Cinderella, took a very similar path. Was that he went into scoring television, movies, things like that. Was I mean, played drums on everything from High School Musical to Hannah Montana. Like, I mean, he's made a great fucking living. And I thought you'd be interested to hear this that he also played in the Lou Gramm band.
it always comes back to Foreigner for
And
the
somebody
unofficial.
hey, it's me. It's Blue Lou here. Just want to let you know that I'm going to be on tour for another 32 years.
I hope so, man. I hope so. Boy,
I
but
hope
boy,
so.
it's a good thing Gene is not out there trying to do Kiss right now if he's passing out at the wheel, huh?
Oh my God. Seriously. Calling doctor somebody.
Calling, I I trademarked calling Dr. Love, so no one can use it for me.
Just call a doctor, any doctor.
My lawyer will be reaching out to you, Don Dillamont. I know who you are. I saw you
Well,
spank it.
like who could help me get out of that, right? If Miss Kazari Dancer, like just send Jean over to me and I can work with my actressing and we can have a good time.
Yeah, I'm Gene Simmons. Anyway.
Nick, we missed you, Nick.
Oh my
Hi.
God. Good Lord. Shirt check, Don.
Got my Bruce Dickinson Mandrake Project tour shirt. Double XL.
Is it not?
Maiden
Yeah,
knows their crowd. Bruce knows their crowd.
yeah,
They make double XLs fit big guys. So
yeah.
that's my shirt.
Chubby shirts help.
Love
I
it.
am wearing my Trevor Strnad Black Dahlia Murder tribute shirt. Um, there's nothing else I can add to that. Just
That's a beautiful shirt, though.
it
I
is a cool
absolutely
shirt. Night
love
Shift
that.
Merch in Florida made this shirt, and all the
Oh,
money was donated to his family or whatever for the services. Um, And now it's time for the meat of the episode. Um, Again, I don't have Nick here to lean on, so I just have to do everything mostly. And with you as always is Garth. I mean Don. Let's take it back to the 80s in Seattle. Seattle is known for a handful of things, obviously coffee, sneakers, because Nike is from up there, I think. The world headquarters, um, Pacific Northwest hipsters kind of were born in Seattle. And a lot of good American culture comes from Seattle. Bruce Lee went to Washington, University of Washington, a lot of sports up there. Jimi Hendrix, Heart, previous podcast subject of very mixed and middling albums, Heart. Wouldn't mind doing Heart in the 80s and 90s at some point too. But I don't know if we can talk Nick into it after that last series. Queensryche, once again, very relevant right now. And like everything in the 80s, glam rock kind of led the American rock scene. It's really true. We really don't have that many great American rock bands. It's kind of a shame that some of the people in Aerosmith are trash humans because like they were our leading band forever. You know? There are bands that are great, Cheap Trick, The Cars, but like Ramones, but like Aerosmith was like our Led Zeppelin for a long time. And they kind of suck. But as people, great music sometimes. So mid 80s, glam rock is a big thing, sleaze and hard rock and all these bands inspired by Hanoi Rocks and Poison and Crew and Quiet Riot and all these ilk. And so there's a very hardy band scene in Seattle, and it's mostly hair metal, to be honest. And our story begins with a band called Sleaze with one E, not three, or two E's, not three. So they had a drummer who ended up becoming their singer. His name was Lane Elmer, like the glue. Lane took his mother's name and became Lane Staley. His brother, his half brother, stepbrother or whatever, was the one who was like, I know you love playing drums, but you really should be like a front man of a band. You got a good voice and you should sing. And he's like, really? I don't fucking think I can sing. This is bullshit. I like the idea of being a singer and maybe getting some ass and free drugs, but I don't know about being, it's a lot easier to be a singer than a drummer. So maybe I'll do that. So that worked out. And Sleaze became Alice N Chains, not In Chains later on. But Alice in Chains, which also had multiple Seattle mainstay people that went on to other bands. Um, Later on, a guy named Jerry Cantrell had a band called Diamond Lie, and he got Staley in his band, and they renamed it Alice in Chains after they asked the Alice N Chains people, could we use this name? Other bands around this time were Mother Love Bone, Skin Yard, Green River, which became Pearl Jam basically, Soundgarden already a band, Melvins already a band, Nirvana forming,
TKO.
right?
TKO is still going. Yeah.
Nirvana forming at this time, and a few other bands. Um, Obviously, Screaming Trees had been around already. Mudhoney ended up becoming, a band at this point. So, uh, Alice in Chains starts to gig around, and I don't know if you remember this movement or if it ever touched you, but there was kind of like a cow punk movement in the late 80s in the American punk underground. Nobody ever really broke through with it. Actually, Social Distortion is now like the bearer of that flag. I don't love Social D. I know punks would be like, "Oh my God, you don't like Social D?" It's like, yeah, it's boring music. It's like he's not. Oh, he's a fuck up, and he, wrote some punk songs. Cool. Um, I don't. Yeah, I'm not a big Social D fan, but that's
Yeah.
kind of the sound, like a jangly punk rock with a little cowboy
Mm.
lilt. And
Yeah,
so,
being in Atlanta, that was pretty big because a lot of local bands in Atlanta were kind of adopting that, especially around like the late 80s going into like 88, 89, 90.
Yeah,
it was starting to be kind of prevalent. Again, probably just because of being in the South, you know.
fair enough. Where is Everclear from Seattle also or Portland? They might have
I
moved to
thought
Portland.
I thought they were from Portland.
Yeah, they might have moved to Portland, but I think Art is actually from maybe like born in California, moved to Seattle and then to Portland.
Probably.
They were one of the earlier bands with that style, and a very so Alice in Chains as they're working on their sound. They don't really have a sound. It's still kind of a little glam rocky. And I mean, like when Lane was in glam rock, dude, he had the enormous feathered hair, like huge Axl Rose, Appetite for Destruction,
Oh, and the
feathered hair.
spandex, and he had a chain wallet, dude. The
Big,
whole
big jackets like Heart had. And again, they're huge. Heart, all right, is a humongous, like their fingerprints are all over the Seattle scene because they were the leaders of the rock movement beside Queensryche at that time. And they were a huge glam rock band, as we know. They Heart transitioned from, to a sort of a pop Jefferson Starship, but a little bit better on guitar. We built this city, except it was the two sisters. So, they have this time, and obviously, you know what's going. I don't have to set the scene for you. Reagan, the '80s, punk rock, glam rock, and as Alice in Chains is starting to get their sound together, they do a song called "Queen of the Rodeo," which is their take on a cowpunk song, and it's literally like a cowboy song with a fast punk part, a fast punk breakdown. Um, and actually, if you can look it up, it's on YouTube. It's on the Best of the Box or the Music
the
box
music
set,
box, yeah.
which I have, and Nothing Safe, the Best of the Box, and the Live at the Moor, and the everything. So I'm an Alice in Chains nut. I am that guy. So they start putting their stuff together, and Diamond Lie changes their name to Alice in Chains, and they get management from Susan Curtis and
Hmm.
um, and Susan Silver. I don't know if they're both Susan. That could be wrong. Susan Silver ends up marrying Chris Cornell and manages Soundgarden already, and would manage Mookie Blaylock at one point before they, as they became Pearl Jam. Because you can't name your band after a living person that's a celebrity athlete. Not much of a celebrity if you're on the New Jersey Nets. But anyway, uh, wah wah. So Alice in Chains gets their demo shopped to Capitol Records. They end up in a meeting and they get signed. And they quickly put out an EP, and the EP starts to fucking take off behind the radio single "We Die Young." And then they rushed to do their debut album, which you can hear how rushed it was. They had half a record done. They didn't have much more time. They had to just like whatever songs we have left, nut them into existence, come up with stuff. And they put out Facelift, and it wasn't a grower. It wasn't a shower. It was a grower. Sorry. And they did end up having a big major label push, and they were the second band to be signed to a major label from Seattle after Soundgarden of that era, and they were much more heavy, on par with Soundgarden in terms of heaviness. But you could see even in their earliest incantation, they want to be heavier. They're trying to be heavier. They're not Nirvana. They're not Melvins, who are very heavy and sludgy at times, but that's not all Melvins are, right? There's so many things in the cornucopia that is Melvins. I would love to do a Melvins series. It would take a long time to do any like we'd have to do it in like four records at a time for like a year, many years. So anyway, Alice in Chains, right? And then interestingly enough, we'll talk about it as we get into it. They do end up kind of blowing up, but probably not really for a year. And it's this like 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. It goes by quick. They shot out like a rocket. And maybe they didn't have the Nirvana rocket or the Pearl Jam rocket, but they're like right there. And really and honestly, Soundgarden doesn't become a much bigger band until their next post Bad Motorfinger record for Black Hole Sun, and then they
Yeah,
become like a
super
fucking
unknown.
super unknown. They become a phenomenon, but they really they were huge, and they opened for Guns N' Roses and Lenny Kravitz and Aerosmith, which is admirable. But I think even Alice in Chains was a little ahead of them, or at least on
Mhm.
radio and things. Maybe not. Nick is not here to refute that. Let's talk about the albums that were released in 1990. You can pontificate a little bit because Nick is not here. Yes, I have it. No, I don't. This sucks. This is good. Whatever. There's a lot of them. Once again, 24/7 Spies, Gumbo Millennium.
No.
Good band from the Bronx, New York, but yeah, I barely remember that. AC/DC, the Razor's Edge. Ugh.
What a bummer of a record, man.
The aforementioned topic of this episode, Alice in Chains Facelift. I have it. I don't have any of my records handy today, but I do have all. I
I
have them
brought
all.
mine. I brought my
Yay! Is
reissue.
that your original or
Yay.
reissue? Yeah,
No,
nice.
it's a reissue,
From like a
dude,
couple years
because
ago or the previous one?
this is the one that came out in 2020.
Cool. Yep, I remember.
I think it's got a red vinyl.
Yeah,
I
that's
think it's
the
red. Yeah.
30th anniversary.
Yeah.
You can unbox the Precious after I'm done with this list. Let's see. Anacrusis Reason, a death metal band.
No.
This band was great. The American crossover thrash band Angkor Wat, named for the Hindu Buddhist temple complex, even though they're from Texas.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, good band. Annihilator, Never Neverland. It's their second record ever on
Great band
Roadrunner.
though.
Yeah, great band. One of my personal favorites, Anthrax, Persistence of Time.
To me, it's like that's their swan song for me. I love that
Oh,
album. Love that record.
I hope to do it sometime. Artillery by Inheritance, the Danish thrash metal band. That's their third album. Roadrunner had all these bands. It's wild. Kronos has a solo album, Dancing in the Fire. Bro, this doesn't sound good at all.
Dude, that's gotta be terrible.
It's bound to be terrible. The Bang Gang, aka Culprit, the heavy metal band
Oh,
from Seattle, led by Jeff LaHaru, who also was in Sleaze. He was the
Bang Gang.
guitarist in Sleaze. The
So,
Bang Gang, what a terrible! And their
so
album is called
terrible.
Love Cells. What a terrible fucking What a just absolutely terrible thing. Uh, I wish Nick was here for this one. Baron Cross, the Christian metal band, Hotter Than Hell Live.
Does Nick have like a soft spot for Christian metal or
He
something? Is
might,
that what
he
his thing
might,
is?
he might.
Okay.
I could be persuaded to do Striper under the right drugs and other circumstances.
I'm not gonna
Um,
lie, I could too, because,
their last
I
record
fell
was
for
fucking
that.
great.
Oh, dude, the one before that too was really
Yeah,
fucking
I
good
didn't fall
too.
for anything. I always hated them. Bathory's album Hammerheart, their classic fifth album. Uh, I have a feeling this band is not from Baton Rouge, but Baton Rouge, Shake Your Soul. Never heard of them.
They were just another like one of those like sign them in a hurry because they're hair band kind of thing.
Right. Benediction's Subconscious Terror, good band. Early obscure album. The debut album by Biohazard, pretty good. Still got a couple of songs they play live.
That is a great album.
The previously discussed on this podcast, The Black Crow, Shake Your Moneymaker, phenomenal.
Got it. Great. Got the box set if you haven't picked it up. It's
Yeah, you told
totally
me
worth it.
you were at the show.
Incredible.
You were
I
at the show on the
was.
box set. That's pretty great. Black Sabbath's Very Forgettable Tear. This record is not good.
I like it
It's
actually. I don't
okay.
love it, but it's no headless cross though, I mean like it is what it is.
Canadian war black metal band Blasphemy, Fallen Angel of Doom. I think I had the tape.
No.
Blind Guardian, Tales from the Twilight World, their third album.
No.
Blue Cheer, Highlights and Low Lives.
Like Blue Cheer like put out a newish album that year?
Yes. And
That's
produced by
super
Jack
weird.
and Dino in Seattle. Holy fuck.
Oh,
What
you're kidding.
6 degrees of fucking separation. John Bon Jovi's Blaze of Glory. I didn't know it was a whole album. I thought it was the one song for the soundtrack, but here's a whole album.
I had the single for
I
Blaze of Glory.
Yeah, me too. I have this record, Cancer to the Gory End, great British death metal.
No, I don't have it.
Previous podcast subject, the debut album by Cannibal Corpse, Eaten Back to Life, with their Banned in Many Countries album cover.
I
Uh,
saw that album cover when I was in high school, and I just remember going, this has gotta suck. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah. My friends were just like, yo, this is the new thing. You're never going to listen to Metallica again after this. And I was like, I'm going right back to Metallica,
I was about
dude.
to say you went running back to
No,
Metallica.
I ended up loving a lot of that early death metal. This record is not good. Celtic Frost, Vanity, Nemesis, terrible.
No.
Chasten, For Those Who Dare, featuring Leather Leone. Ah, love you.
Oh, I never
She
heard
lives in the
that.
Bay Area. Oh yeah, Chasten is the shreddy whittly 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 guy,
Oh,
and
David T. Cheston. Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
she's
yeah.
the singer. Leather.
She
Yeah,
signs all her emails, Love and Dio.
yeah,
Did you ever see?
that was her hero. Cinderella, Heartbreak Station, great. Their best record, maybe.
You know what? I have to agree. I think between that one and Long Cold Winter, but I probably lean heavier towards Heartbreak Station.
Same. Damn Yankees, self-titled, no thanks.
Terrible.
You ever see the Patton Oswalt does the thing? He's like, chances are, if you're watching a hair metal video, these dudes are all oiled up and riffing and making a stanky guitar face. And then there's hot, bodacious babes millions of miles away in a warehouse somewhere rubbing each other down, literally making music repelling the opposite sex from fucking them. And then he
So
went
fucking
in on
amazing.
like Ted is actually like probably pretty gay. All right.
I I think he's on the DL big
Vicky,
time, to be honest.
Danzig Lucifuge, my favorite Danzig record, bar none.
Fantastic. Great record.
Death, Spiritual Healing, great record, probably not for you.
No, I never really dipped into it though, but never say never.
Death Angel Act 3, which has was like a fantastic thrash metal record right before their 10-year hiatus after their van crashed. And it was their only record on Geffen. They were signed to Geffen,
I
and
had
they were
no
supposed to be on
idea.
Thrash of the Titans, Clash of the Titans, and the van crash happened, so Alice in Chains got put on instead of them.
I did not know they were
Yeah,
supposed to be the opening.
yeah. And they
Wow.
were still kind of pubescent late teenagers, early 20 somethings. So that accident kind of ruined their lives pretty bad for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Self-titled album by Deicide, their debut studio album, pretty solid. German thrash, Cracked Brain by Destruction. The aforementioned Tattooed Millionaire with the mildly offensive album cover now that I think about it by Bruce Dickinson.
I'm probably one of the very few who actually love that record for what it is. I think it was as weird as it is. I think it was Bruce's kind of foray into
Yeah,
not being
Maiden.
Maiden, but the great songs on there are great, but God, man, the bad ones are just terrible. But I love
There's
it.
there's some
I enjoy
skips.
it.
Okay, that record's not great, but neither is Dio, Lock Up the Wolves. Holy fuck.
You know what? Best tour I saw Dio on, but
That record
terrible
sucks.
record.
And here's another one, Don Dokken, Up from the Ashes. It's like all in a row. Oh my God.
Dude, Up
Why
from the
isn't Nick here to
Ashes.
shit on all this?
Dude, I would fuck that album after I got done with Beast from the East.
No. Nah, you can't
Dude,
be
Up from the
serious.
Ashes is incredible, dude. You know what it is though? It's like ballad heavy though, but I love it. And the band was just fucking out of
Don's
control
about
good.
55 on this record in 1990. Anyway,
Oh, totally.
sorry. Entombed Left Hand Path for some Swedish death metal. Phenomenal.
That's a great album.
Basically, the whole modern death metal today ripped off this guitar sound from the HM Boss HM2 pedal. Literally, it's called HM2 Core, and it's this template, Entombed, dry scooped death metal riffs.
Oh, that's
Um,
fucking great.
One of my all-time favorite records, Slaughter in the Vatican by Ex Hoarder, fucking phenomenal. Their
How
debut
can you be
album.
from New Orleans and not love that fucking band?
Kyle Thomas
I,
is the fucking man.
dude, I love Kyle. I love that band.
There's a whole bunch of records I had and still love some of. Extreme Porno Graffiti, kind of butt heads, but it's a great fucking record.
Dude, that was a fun record though, man. That was a
Super.
good album.
Exodus Impact is imminent. Solid.
It was, yeah. I mean, I would
Needed
say
better
solid.
songs. I think it's Zetro's actual first full album.
Zetro is still in.
Zetro's still in at this point. Um, let's see. I Hate God in the Name of Suffering. I think that's their debut album. Pretty fucking rad. I love the
Yeah,
sludge.
that was a good one.
Fastway, Bad Bad Girls.
don't know about that one.
The third album by Flotsam and Jetsam, When the Storm Comes Down, not my favorite.
Uh,
They did steal Troy Gregory from Prong on bass. He was like, I'm moving to Arizona. Fuck Brooklyn. Fuck these rats in the city. Forbidden Twisted into Form, one of my all-time favorite metal records. Oh my God, I love Forbidden.
I haven't heard that one, but I do like Forbidden though.
I would like to do a Forbidden run at some point. There's a whole group of my friends back east that I never shut up about. This like, why don't you go move out there? I did. I did move out. Firehouse. That's again the Firehouse thing about my brother. The debut album by Firehouse, released in
Firehouse by
1998,
Firehouse.
launched the group into stardom. They sucked.
They were terrible
Fucking
band, dude.
terrible. Michael Lee Firkins with a self-titled debut solo album. You know who that is?
I don't know who that is. Who is
Yeah,
that?
he's a shrapnel lead guitar guy. Gamma Ray Heading for
Oh,
Tomorrow debut album. Nick's favorite record of this year, Gwar Scumdogs of the Universe. Fucking great.
great album, but boy, I wish that thing would have been produced better.
Yeah.
Like that was such a crappy sounding record.
Speaking of produced
Probably one of my
better,
favorites.
yeah, definitely. Speaking of produced better, Helmet, Strap It On, their debut album,
Ah,
fucking on AMREP, on Amphetamine Reptiles, a record very important to my youth. Unfortunately, the debut album by Iced Earth, self-titled, Traders, No Give a Fuck About You. Iron Maiden, No Prayer for the Dying. Ugh.
yeah, that was a bummer.
Panic Yannick in, Adrian Smith out. Bruce out next.
Bruce out, Blaze in, Bruce
Yeah,
back in.
Nick's other favorite record of this year, Jane Juana's Addiction, Jane's Addiction, Ritual de la Habitual.
I thought that was a good record. I mean, I wasn't so blown away by Jane's Addiction ever, but I always thought they were a pretty solid band.
Yeah, Jet Boy, Damnation. I feel like you had this.
Oh, Jet Boy was fucking awesome.
They were
Sammy Yaffa from
from up
Manor
here.
Rocks was in that
Yeah,
band.
from
Yeah,
up here. Sign to Electra.
dude,
They were on the
their
same
album.
label as Metallica. Imagine being at the board of directors of like Elektra Records, right? And going through like the book at the annual meeting of shareholders, and it's like one page Metallica, all the green spreadsheets of their like profits, and then you go to the next page is like Jet Boy.
They're like, Jet Boy, what should we do with them? Put them out on tour with Striper, because that's what they did. They put
That's
them
what
out
they
on tour
did.
with Striper.
The classic
Terrible.
Judas Priest Painkiller.
Gets better with age, I
It
think.
does get better with age. Killer Dwarfs Dirty Weapons, underrated.
That was a great record.
A compilation record by Killing Joke I did not ask for. After this record, they start to become like much more industrial metal and less avant-garde art rock.
Hmm.
But I'm a big Killing Joke person. King Diamond the Eye. Oh God.
Oh God, Nick just
He just
came and he
came
wasn't
wherever he
even
is
here
right
yet.
now.
It's
Anyway,
like
previous podcast subject, Faith, Hope, and Love by King's X, a phenomenal third studio
beautiful fucking
album.
record. Beautiful record.
Fucking phenomenal. Crocus Stampede, no thank you.
Nah, I was I didn't know Crocus was still making music at that
Yeah,
point.
Richie Kotzen, Fever Dream.
I wasn't a shrapnel lover, man, but
Yeah, the last good album for a long time from Creator, Coma of Souls.
no, don't have it.
Another Crocus record, Stampede. Jesus.
God, no.
The debut EP by Caius, Sons of Caius, out of print now. Let's see, Little Caesar, self-titled. Oh my God.
Dude, that was good shit, dude.
Yeah, they
Dude,
covered Chain of Fools. That's what they're known
dude,
for.
I love my sleaze rock, man.
You
They
do.
were good, dude.
I'll allow it. One of my favorite records of this year, Living Colors, Time's Up. Fucking unbelievable.
Fucking everything about that record is good.
Yeah, they're hard to fuck with. They're great. I love them. All right, I'll try to go through these a little quicker. We're almost done. I promise. So many records. Let's see. Love, Hate, Blackout in the Red Room, solid. Lost Boys, Lost and Found, solid. Lynch Mob, Wicked Sensation,
Nah,
all these
it
guitar guy albums.
it tried, man, but I'll take the Dawkins album over Lynch Mob
Right.
for
Tony
sure.
McAlpine and Frank Marino with records all at the same time.
Holy
Good Lord.
fuck.
Ingrid Malmsteen, not Ingrid J. Malmsteen. Eclipse. I think that's his like one good one beside the early ones. Manila Road, The Courts of Chaos. Megadeth's Rust in Peace. Phenomenal.
Fucking one of the greatest
Their
metal
best
records of
record.
all
10
time.
of
Oh
10.
yeah.
No skips. Malaya Rage, Solitary Solitude.
No.
The debut EP by Monster Magnet.
That was a good one.
This is a band I love that nobody knows about. Morbid Saint, Spectrum of Death. I have the shirt I sometimes wear.
Morbid Saint.
Yeah, Morbid Saint, Wisconsin thrash metal, bro.
Oh, I'm thinking Morbid Angel. I was like, how does
No,
anybody not know Morbid Saint?
no,
Yeah, yeah,
Morbid
yeah. No.
Saint, who were out before Morbid Angel, but Morbid Angel sounds better. Let's be honest. Mortician, Brutally Mutilated. No thanks.
Mm-mm.
Morgana Le Fay, Symphony of the Damned, for some Swedish power metal. Uh, Black metal, Morgoth, The Eternal Fall EP.
Mm-mm.
Napalm Death, Harmony, Corruption. That is their third record when they became officially death metal and not so grindcore anymore.
Was that after Dorian?
After Dorian.
Okay,
AD, after
okay.
Dorian.
AD after Dorian.
That's it. Neurosis, The Word as Law. Their second album, great band, unfortunately disgraced now.
Mm-hmm.
Bum, 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 bum. Obituary, Cause of Death, the classic, maybe their best record. Pantera, Cowboys from Hell. Can't fuck with it. It's great.
Banger.
Cannot fucking fight with it. Guess who? Paradise Lost with their debut studio album, Lost Paradise.
That's
The
fucking
whole
great.
record is about Milton, as you do. As you do. Paradise Lost new album, Ascension, out now. Just came out. Poison, Flesh and Blood. I remember not liking this record, even though it was huge.
Great tour, not a great album.
No.
Yeah.
Chris Poland returned to Metalopolis.
I forgot he did something
Solo
like that.
record. Pretty Maids, Jump the Gun. No, thank you.
No.
Primus, Frizzle Fry. That is their debut studio album.
Nah.
The second studio album from Prong, Beg to Differ, which I fucking love.
Great fucking record.
I used to love this death metal and grindcore band, Pungent Stench.
Oh God.
For God, your soul. For me, your flesh.
Never heard him, but I knew
Yeah,
I used to see a Pungent Stench t-shirt a lot in high school.
yeah, for sure. And I'm sure, again, the regionally successful metal bands like A Suck and COC and probably all the Atlanta bands, Neon
Mhm.
Christ maybe, probably a very popular underground, funderground, little Five Points people thrifting
Yeah.
in little Five Points and seeing like Neon Christ t-shirts.
Mhm.
That probably William sold. William
Probably
Duvall.
did.
Queensryche Empire. We need to do it.
Fantastic
The
record.
debut
Yeah.
EP by Quicksand. Quicksand. I love you. Great
I
band.
liked Quicksand. Saw them with Anthrax in
Nice.
White Zombie. Yeah.
This album sucks. Quiet Riot, Winners Take All. Jesus Christ.
Is that a compilation?
I don't think so. I think it just sucks. Choir
I don't
Boys, A
know.
Bit of What You Fancy. Great album.
Love that record.
Yeah.
The
Choir
British
Boys are very
Crows.
underrated. Rat Detonator, I like that more than the Poison record, and I know
That's
no
a
one has heard that
great
record.
dude. That is a great record.
How about
Seriously.
Razor, Shotgun Justice? Terrible artwork, but a really good band.
They had the worst album
The worst
covers.
covers, like just garbage, no artistic vision. Rhino Bucket, self-titled debut album.
Underrated classic.
Super
I
underrated,
love that
right? They were
fucking
on
album,
fucking
dude.
Wayne's World. They were a good band. They should come back.
Dude,
Riot,
that was a great album. Yeah.
Riot, The Privilege of Power. I don't need it.
No.
One of my other favorite records of this is such a fucking huge year for crossover and thrash. Sacred
Serious.
fucking Reich, The American Way.
Oh
I
man,
love this
dude,
so much.
put that on a sandwich for me, babe. I
Yeah,
love
babe.
that.
Another thrasher I love, Sacrifice, Soldiers of Misfortune. I'm sometimes seen wearing my Sacrifice shirt. Let's see, St. Vitus, Five, the fifth studio album, very creatively named. Uh, the second studio album by Sanctuary, Into the Mirror Black. This is the pre-Nevermore band
Yeah,
of World
yeah.
Dane.
I didn't actually really listen to Sanctuary until after I heard Nevermore.
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Scorpions, Crazy World. Okay.
Nah. Great
So,
tour.
again, a
Yeah,
band I wish we could do. Slaughter, Stick It To Ya.
dude, dude, I'm not even ashamed to
I
say how much I
love
love that
Mark
record.
Slaughter.
That album is awesome.
I might let Mark Slaughter top me. I don't think he's gay, and I am not either, but I think I would let him. I would let him have any hole he wanted if he asked nicely.
Wait, Mark
Um,
Slaughter 90 or like Mark Slaughter
Mark
now?
Slaughter, I saw him a couple years ago. He was fucking great. Right now.
He's
What are you
he's still
doing right
fucking
now?
crushing
Hey,
it.
Mark, what are you doing? Come over. I got the lube. Let's
Dude,
go.
I'm a power bottom, Mark. Come get me.
I'll become one for him. That's my word, son. Slayer, Seasons in the Motherfucking Abyss.
Incredible.
And then it
Incredible.
all fell apart. Sleaze B, screwed, blued, and tattooed. The worst. So
Horrible
horrible.
fucking band.
Horrible band, album, everything. Sodom, Better Off Dead, great record.
That's a good record.
Soundgarden, Screaming Life Fop, which is also a compilation of their two debut EPs. Spread
Never heard of
Eagle,
it.
underrated, kind of pre-Rage Against the Machine rapping metal from New York
I
City.
loved them, dude.
Did you?
Seriously.
Do you know
Yeah.
Ray West, the singer?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
interesting. I've interviewed him once. Steve Vai,
They were
Passion and
great.
Warfare, featuring Devin Townsend.
That was a good album.
Yeah, Striper, Against the Law.
Dude, their secular record, and they did an incredible cover of Shining Star by
That's
Earth, Wind,
the
and
Earth, Wind,
Fire.
and Fire. That's this record. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Another one of my absolute favorites from this year, and I would love to do as a series: Suicidal Tendencies, Lights, Camera, Revolution.
Can we please do a suicidal
We really should.
show?
I have a lot
I
of them. Tank Card, The Meaning of Life. No, thank you.
no.
Tesla, the iconic five-man acoustical jam EP that made them
So good.
superstars.
I love that album though. So
Here's a
good.
very underrated band, Tiamat Sumerian Cry, the Swedish metal band. Very good band, underrated. Let's see, Tiger Tails Berserk. I think the drummer died today, right?
Yes. Yeah, I just saw that.
The maligned at the time, but I love this album, Souls of Motherfucking Black by Testament, New Testament record out this week.
Oh, Souls of Black was so good.
Here's another one. I'll see if you like this. The Trickster, the debut album by Trickster. I
Dude, fuck
love
that band,
Trickster.
dude. Did you
Oh,
really?
yeah, I love them. Okay, Steve Brown is a tool, right? And like all the stuff he
Mhm.
wrote for Ace is trash. And I don't know why he would want to take credit for these garbage songs.
Uh-huh.
Whatever the fuck, Cherry, whatever that song is. I don't want to hear a 74-year-old Ace Frehley talking about his girlfriend's cooch. Like that's horrible. Hey baby, I wrote a song about your pussy. I could just see the conversation over dinner. Like,
Hey, hey
he's
Howie, I just wrote this song. Like, check it out.
the Vader demo, Morbid Reich, and set their
Mm,
career off. Pretty fucking great. Trouble, self-titled record, phenomenal. Fourth album. Udo, Faceless World. I believe it's his third studio album. We're almost
that
done.
was that was a good record.
Vicious Rumors, self-titled, solid.
Never heard it.
No. Violence Oppressing the Masses, another one. This is like my favorite fucking year for metal, except there's no Metallica record. Bill Ward, Ward 1, Along the Way.
And that was like, yeah, that was Bill Ward. Yeah.
Let's pour one out for Janie Lane. Cherry Pie also came out this year. Oh,
Kind of a bummer.
poor bastard. Warrior Soul, Last Decade, Dead Century, great.
That was a great
That's
album.
their debut. Winger, In the Heart of the Young,
Love
just
it.
not for
Love it.
me. I respect Kip Winger now more, but like also fuck him in that band. The great black metal band from Norway, Winter Into Darkness, their only full-length record before one of their guys died. Zentrix, the British thrash band, for whose advantage? Question mark. Y&T 10, which is only their ninth album. I don't understand.
So weird.
So fucking dumb. And then Zebra live, and I do like Zebra, even though
Dude,
I'm not.
that was a great fucking album. Yeah.
Bayshore,
Fucking
Long Island, yo. Um,
originally from New Orleans.
Here are the events of the year, and maybe I missed some stuff. I don't know if I missed a few things, but here's some things that happened in the world of metal this year, and then I'll wrap it up. Adrian Smith quits Iron Maiden to pursue a solo career. That did not happen until ever. Yannick Gers is hired to replace him. Now he doesn't play guitar at all. Metallica wins the Grammy for One after losing to Jethro Tull. The infamous Clash of the Titans tours this year, and we'll talk about that. Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax, Testament, and Suicidal Tendencies. Extreme releases Porno Graffiti. The album peaks at number 10, sold very well due to More Than Words and Wholehearted. Judas Priest involved in a multi-million dollar lawsuit with the two Nevada teenagers. Better by You, Better Than Me. Not even that good a song to blow your head off to. The band
Nah, seriously, like, I mean, if you were gonna
should
go
have
with it, Beyond the Realms of Death.
anything. I mean, Sad Wings of Destiny. Anyway, the band won the case. Faith No More is the real thing, carried by the single Epic cracks the Billboard Top 10, but that record came out in '89. Marty
Mhm.
Friedman joins Megadeth, replacing Jeff Young, who was fired because he was banging. Like we all banged Mustaine's girlfriend at one point. You, I'm sure, did. We all did.
Dude, I didn't even know I did, and probably did.
And
Yeah.
Jeff Becerra possessed is paralyzed from the waist down after being mugged in Oakland. Laz Rocket, Death Angel, Sacred Reich, and others are featured on the soundtrack to Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Now my interest is piqued. Look at this is actually like a pretty
Wow.
good fucking cast. I don't know how good this. I don't remember this movie being good, but like it's quite a cast. Anyway, you and I both had probably a lot of these albums. This is the year I graduated high school. My whole world was metal and Pink
Mhm.
Floyd. That's all I did. And maybe the
Yeah,
Black
I
Crowes
was a
was like the most
sophomore.
rock music I listened to.
Yeah, I was a sophomore in high school at this point.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
turned
so
18 in September. I graduated high school in June. I sang for the
yeah.
president. You know that already.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm from Keith. I sang for the president. I did. Sang with Easton. So anyway, that's all the records. Do you have any other thoughts before we delve into this track by track?
Just if we're just gonna go into the Alice in Chains aspect of it, I did kind of pull together a list of bands that Alice in Chains did actually perform and tour with
Sure, go for it.
through that on the Facelift tour. We had them doing some shows with obviously they were on the Megadeth Priest and Testament tour, which kind of I think set them up for the Clash of the Titans, which they obviously we heard took they stepped in for Death Angel. They did the
And by
Van
the way,
Halen tour.
they were booed every night.
They were
There was a
they
hostile crowd. They were not thrash metal. Even if they played every show and opened with We Die Young, they were not liked.
I saw the Clash tour in Atlanta, and me and my friends were blown away. But we were like the only three that were blown away. Like, and they were fucking incredible though. But and they also did some really interesting tours where they hit the road with King's X. They did a run of shows with Extreme for the Porno Graffiti tour. They did a handful of shows with Great White and Tesla where they had to step in for kicks. And on top of that, they also
Wow,
did an opening
that's what
slot.
a what a tall order that is to replace Kicks. Fuck, what are they going to do now?
Seriously.
Oh my
And then
God!
finally, they toured with one of my favorite bands of the era was Tora Tora. They did probably I think they did a full leg with Tora Tora. And so
They do a third. Did
interesting.
they do a third leg with Toradora? You know, you walked into that one.
I
Ba-dum bum, ba-dum bum.
did. Hey, tip your bartenders, tip your waitresses. But no, interesting run of groups that I think kind of dictates and sets us up for going into what we're going to go into because it kind of shows you the mishmash and the kind of changing over of the guards, so to speak, in
I knew
hard
you were
rock
going to
and
go
roll.
there, and I'm glad you did. By the way, I have my shark just to represent for Nick
Eh,
with a shark showed up this week. So sorry, Nick, we miss you.
well, hey, Nick, Roy Thomas Baker here. I hope you get feeling better, but if your nose is stopped up, you should get some of this stuff here, really clear it up for you.
That jizz or cocaine? Cocaine.
Both.
You know what I used to eat for breakfast? Cocaine. You know what I used
Cocaine.
to eat for lunch? Cocaine. Anyway,
All right, dude. I'm ready. Let's jump
yeah.
into this.
So I do know that speaking of cherry pie, I remember the story from the Behind the Music of Warrant where Janie Lane goes into Columbia, and the year before their record was behind the secretary's desk at the reception, and then a year later, like early '91, it's Alice in Chains Facelift, and they can't get a meeting, and no one wants to see them, and they get passed off to somebody that's not their A&R rep, and just like it
Yeah.
was all downhill. So, um, Chains became a top priority at the label. I mentioned that they did the We Die Young EP produced by Dave Jordan. Dave Jordan did Anthrax and a bunch of movie soundtracks, and he used to put Anthrax and Alice in Chains on a bunch of their soundtracks. He did produce Chili Peppers record, Jane's Addiction, Social D. Again, not a fan. Fine. Again, Facelift came out on August 21st, 1990. So a full year before the Black Album, by the way. And the summer I was about to turn 18. But it didn't hit really like chart until a year later when it peaked at number 42 on the Billboard 200. Was not an instant success, selling only 40,000 copies. Imagine if you sold 40,000 copies today. I think you'd have the number one record. By the way, Nick is not here to talk about his obsession about Taylor Swift. She's absolutely going to have the number one record in the whole world. She sold something like 250,000 physical records this week, which is almost not the record Tool set, but still pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sleep Token might have beat the Tool record. I'm not sure. So here's Facelift.
Wow.
Facelift comes out after the We Die Young EP. And let me just, before I do the track listing, one last thing, and then I promise we're going to whip through this because it's pretty stellar. And I can't imagine you hate something I love on this, but
no.
Is it possible? Did Jerry Cantrell steal the vocal ideas for Alice in Chains from King's X?
I think that even just We Die Young going into it, like that is I thought it sounded like King's X when I first heard it, and this was back in like 90.
I'm talking just about the vocal harmonies, the fourths, the different things. Now, I mean, like King's X has 3-part harmonies. Alice in Chains usually just keeps it to the two singers. Occasionally they layer the tracks or double their own vocals. But like, obviously Alice in Chains is a heavier band generally. Alice in Chains, King's X has 3 records out by the time Facelift comes out.
Yeah.
So I must have heard of them, right? Like,
I mean, definitely pulled some sort of an influence from them because, like you said, musically, I thought like somewhat too, but like very much vocally. I think you nailed that. I never really thought too much about that as much.
Okay. So the album starts off with We Die Young, which was a hit at radio, at college radio, and metal radio. Absolute banger of a track to open open the can, get the effervescence on you. It's quick, it's heavy, it's sinister, got a cool solo, great vocals. This is a great opener. Thoughts?
Absolutely incredible opening track. I think that again, I'm a big fan of sequencing. I thought this album was perfectly sequenced, and opening up with that song, fantastic, man, banger.
Fair enough. I feel like the record is very top heavy, but we'll talk about that later. Obviously, the iconic Man in the Box is number 2, lyrics by Lane, vocals by Lane and Jerry. Really, the call and response chorus is eternal. It's still in the set list. It will never be out of the set list. Probably most of these songs that are still being played won't come out. Man in the Box, incredible. Got the talk box solo. I don't remember, like, honestly, except for Aerosmith, I don't know any guitar players in 1990 that were doing talk box stuff. Joe Walsh and Aerosmith, Joe Perry and Jerry.
Nick Mars did it on Kickstart.
Oh, Kickstart, my fucking heart is terrible.
But that
okay,
shit
sure.
sucks. But yes, that doesn't count.
Okay,
I
it's like a bleeding lamb.
Fucking.
It's like, dude. I hope it was Nikki, but Man in the Box is perfect. And the video was, when that video hit in mid 91, it was on MTV, not just Headbangers Ball, all the fucking time.
Look, it was
before Nirvana, before Nevermind, before Pearl Jam. This song.
I don't know if you remember this, but MTV ran like metal was so big at this time, is that like every day they had the Hard 60, which was like you had an hour a day of metal videos, and you had the Headbangers Ball. Like Man in the Box was on every fucking day, and then on Headbangers Ball. I think it even may have popped in on like Alternative Nation at some point too. When
it started to kind of to cross-pollinate the programming. Why not?
Incredible song. Incredible.
It works.
Song.
If it works, if it ain't broke, don't break it.
Exactly.
The very underrated, I guess technically a deep cut, Sea of Sorrow, number 3. This is an interesting, a little bit of a longer song. It's got an interesting tempo shifts that I think were not common in modern rock at this time. Uh, Great again, just this very jarring, dissonant harmony, but somehow is mellifluous to the ears. I'm using big words because Nick is not here to do them.
Mhm. And
Great song.
I don't know big words, but
Okay,
yeah, Sea of Sorrow though to me is like one of the songs on this album that I feel like definitely reflects what was going on in Seattle. It sounds not that it sounds like all the other bands, but this song is like kind of like synonymous to like Mother Love Bone, what was going like it's got that sound that I feel like this kind of may have even been kind of a turning point song for them, I think.
possible. Another track that I absolutely love is Bleed the Freak, kind of a minor hit. Um, they played it live for years and years. I haven't seen them do it in a long time, but a really great and dark song, which is like every song by them, but like it's particularly dark.
My favorite song on the album.
Nice.
And the last time I saw Alice in Chains with Duval, they opened the show with this, and
That's
it
crazy.
was
It's a good, well,
incredible.
would be a good opener, actually, now that I think about it. Sometimes when Alice in Chains, they know they're not a glam rock band anymore, but they do lean on the blues, and I don't mean in a Black Sabbathy way. So I can't remember as one of these songs that pops up on this first record that are a little bit, I don't want to say paint by numbers, but standard,
Mhm.
average. And this is a song, it's a short song, it's got a good social justice message about homelessness and junkies, which they know all about.
Mhm.
But I don't think this is a great song. This is the one song on side one that I think is okay.
I found myself liking it a lot more going back through the album for this show than I did before. So I really liked it. I mean, it's definitely kind of a downer tune, but I don't know. I liked the lyrical aspect of it too. I thought,
And great singing.
oh,
Mostly just Lane.
fantastic.
Just Lane. That I can remember. My favorite song on Facelift is this next one. This is a song I do at karaoke. This is a song I have performed and rehearsed with my bands with, and is a great vocal warm up. It is a tour de force. 6 minutes and 26 seconds. I could see some people feeling it was long, but Love, Hate, Love to me is still my favorite song on this record. It's so fucking powerful and painful. I absolutely love it. Inject it right into my veins, my dick vein.
Love, love, fucking Jimi Hendrix style. I love this song too. I think it's super dark. And it's got one of the greatest transitions at the end, like around like I think I wrote it down here, like the 4.5 minute mark, where it's like you just hit bottom, and it's just so fucking good. And this to me is classic metal. Like it has that kind of dark metal to it that loved it. I wish I would have heard it, got to hear it live.
Yeah, considering like 2 years prior they were singing about fishnets and boning girls in the bathroom and how
Exactly.
high can I make my hair? And then this is like Sabbathian greatness. This is some
So good.
epic shit. Another song that I absolutely love that apparently was a mistake joke riff that one day Jerry was just goofing around in the studio and he goes din 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 and Sean Kinney goes, "Do that again." That fucking ruled. And he's like, "What? Din 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 din, din." Yeah, do that a bunch. And that's how we got It Ain't Like That. Another just banger song. I think the only song on the record credited with Mike Starr and Sean Kinney getting equal writing credit.
Interesting.
I think
Thought it
it's
was
a
a
great
great,
song.
yeah, great song. It was in the Singles movie,
Yep.
them performing it. When I listen to this is actually to me Sleaze Alice in Chains. This kind of goes to that kind of sleaze rock era where like if it was played a little more shuffly, like I think it could have been a sleaze rock tune. But it's great. It's not my favorite, but fun song, great song to listen to.
Here's another one that so again, this is just, we flipped the record already at Love, Hate, Love, and this is side two, basically. And it's super strong. So like Sunshine is also fucking amazing and it's kind of the most King's X sounding, if that makes any sense. It's got that Beatlesy harmony thing, and then kind of
Mhm.
like Lane's great voice, and then Jerry kind of weaveroos in and out. on the harmony vocals. What a fucking great vocal performance. I don't know if people would agree with me that it's a great song. I think it's a great song. Um, for sure. I love this song also.
Oh, it's my third favorite song on the album. I think it's such a great song, and I also think that this is kind of a little bit of foreshadowing about what we were gonna get with Dirt. Like it's the one song on this album I feel like is akin to the material that we would hear on Dirt. So I love it, love it.
Not unfair. I like that. And then I think at this point the record flags a little bit. Put You Down is again another kind of blues rocker left over. Again, this is probably where they had a rush to finish the record to get it out in time for all these tours they were getting booked on and the growing popularity of the band. It's solid. I don't hate it. I don't love it.
Same to me. This could have even been from their glam era, like, and we not knew it, but
Shitty GNR, basically a GNR ripoff song. Punch
variously,
you down,
but
down, down, and a bunch you down, down. I'm good, bro. Looking out.
yeah.
Godsmack would make a whole career out of that little song, that little punch you down, down, down.
Oh, and they did,
And
which
they
is
did.
insane.
And they did. Back up a little on the standards level. Confusion is actually, I think, a very underrated, well-written song. It's a little too long at almost 6 minutes. Written music by Cantrell and Starr, lyrics by Staley. But I feel like this is like a step up from Put You Down. And yeah.
I think Put You Down was sequenced perfectly because you forget about it, and Confusion is a great song. I feel like I forget about it. And then
Yeah.
when I was listening to it, I just love it. So
And Confusion also has another King, we'll just call it a King's X chorus, a classic AIC chorus, right? With like the twins singing and then Lane takes over solo. It's wild how, like Jerry really is mixed down low on this record. He really had no confidence in himself, and he clearly got in the ear of Jordan and told him, like, please don't mix me high in the mix. Because on the next record, you hear Jerry as loud as you hear Lane.
oh, which
Um,
is yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. And I mean the next record, I mean the next full-length record, Dirt, and
Hmm.
Sap also. But and then I Know Something About You. Not great. Average.
Again, Sleaze, Alice in Chains. I love it for what it is. I feel like if I heard this song and like say like Put You Down and It Ain't Like That, if I heard those three songs on like an EP, I'd be like, this is solid. This is good. But yeah, standing amongst these songs, yeah, not so much.
And then Real Thing, not to be confused with the Faith No More album and song of the same name out at the exact same time. Real Thing's actually a pretty good closer. It's pretty good. It's again, like Confusion, I like it a little bit more. Definitely got a couple of squiffy songs on side two, but again, they rushed to finish the record. Like they were rushed to finish it. So they just threw everything at the wall.
I'll be honest, for an album that was rushed to be done, I've heard albums that are rushed to be completed, and this album fucking I mean, obviously we get to hear what they sounded like when they're given ample time to make an album, but for an album that was supposed to be rushed, man, this is like one of the most solid debut albums from a band
I
I've ever
mean,
heard.
of that whole era.
Oh,
I know Pearl Jam has an incredible debut album. It's better than Bleach.
hmm.
Soundgarden's real debut is, Ultra Mega OK, which is great, but this is much more refined, also on a major label, Soundgarden. Just a little background from the Wikipedia, which we know not to fully trust. Killing Yourself, recorded during the Facelift sessions, was the B-side of the We Die Young vinyl single. Still making vinyl singles in 1990. I would love to get my hands on this. I've heard this song. It's good. They also did I Can't Have You Blues, What You Gonna Do, Social Parasite, Bleed the Freak, Sea of Sorrow, and Killing Yourself were on the Alice in Chains 88 demo tape that got them signed. Remixes of these recordings were later included in the band's Music Bank set. The demo version of We Die Young is also on Nothing Safe, The Best of the Box. And it's kind of like an unmixed We Die Young. It's not much different than the actual
Oh,
track you
okay,
hear. It's just
gotcha.
unmastered and unmixed. that well.
Just a raw track.
Just
Yeah,
a
okay.
raw version of it and maybe like a little rough around the edges. And then there's these other songs, further 88 demos of songs Chemical Addiction, Fairy Tale Love Story, Queen of the Rodeo that I talked about earlier,
Hmm.
Bite the Bullet, and King of the Cats with a K, Cats. I can't remember Sunshine and the Real Thing, and a cover of David Bowie's Suffragette City have circulated on various bootlegs in poor quality. A live version of Queen of the Rodeo is on the 2000 album Live, which I
Hmm.
love, and I can play it on guitar a little bit and sing it. Maybe we can do a cover of it someday.
Oh, we
Cantrell said, I
probably
guess
should.
with all those songs, we were discovering ourselves. So, I mean, what an incredible album. And like everyone shows up fully fledged. Like Mike Starr's bass is never talked about enough, but he was an
Hmm.
excellent bass player. Sean Kinney is not yet the super beast on the kit that he was, but excellent drumming. Like he's not doing like the things he did in the future that became his trademarks, but like the drumming on this is amazing. Great rhythm section, great drums by themselves. What can you say about Jerry? He shows up a guitar hero with charisma and fucking panache and lead guitars and just screaming his wah technique. A whole year before Kirky Wah Wah discovered a wah pedal. And Lane is just, just indefatigable. He's just like relenting as a vocalist. He's so fucking good. He does carry the album basically as the lead vocalist, even though in the future it's very even Stevens across the
Hmm.
board. Yeah, man, this is easily a 9 or a 10 to me. I think the lesser songs on side two might knock it down from being
Hmm.
perfect. But I mean, for a debut album in 1990 with that tremendous year of rock and metal
Hmm.
to be like a nine, it's got a really, no wonder they got signed to a major. No wonder they got a lot of promotion and push behind them, right? Because this is music that demanded to be heard by the masses, I think.
Oh yeah, and I give it a 9 right out of the gate. And I did want to include something because we were talking about the whole kind of crossover intermingling of hairband, glam sleeves, Alice in Chains or whatever. That on January 17th in 91 in I think it was in Portland, Alice in Chains was asked to open for Poison because Warrant, who was actually the touring support, something happened, which we don't know what happened. But Brett Michaels actually put in the request for Alice in Chains because he was a big fan of theirs. And the band, even after, like, for the encore, for Poison's encore, they did Rock and Roll All Night Together by Kiss. There's photos of it. There's no video footage or audio footage that I found, but there's photos of it for the non-believers. And there was a great interview with Brett Michaels where they were talking about how glam, yeah, grunge killed glam and they all hated each other. And he was like, no, he goes, we didn't hate those guys. He goes, matter of fact, those guys used to come over to my house and ride go-karts. So I thought that was pretty badass, but interesting little factoid though. So, but
Oh, apparently the one show that they didn't get booed off the stage in at Clash of the Titans was live Facelift filmed at the Moore in Seattle in 1990. That was the one show where their crowd showed up. But apparently, I like this quote. I'll ask Frank Bello about this sometimes. During the tour, the band found themselves subject to some of the most hostile audiences. However, Anthrax bassist Frankie Bello from my hometown of Bronx recalls them earning the respect of others by standing up for themselves. There was a guy starting shit. Lane would jump into the audience and beat the fuck out of that guy. That's great. Like that's how Frankie talks too, like just like that. So yeah, man, like you really, what a fucking auspicious debut. And yes, they got their teeth kicked in, but like, a year later, a year and a half later, they were one of the biggest things going. And really, We Die Young and Man in the Box are the only official singles, but I think Sea of Sorrow was kind of put out to radio also and just never. Oh, not Sea, yeah, Sea of Sorrow, Bleed the Freak, and Sunshine had like a little bit of a life after. Apparently, Sunshine is about Jerry's mom who died in '87. I did not know that.
oh, I did not know that. Wow.
And
Okay.
Cantrell wrote the song in Los Angeles after Alice in Chains had moved from Seattle to LA after the death of Andrew Wood, probably to get away from the drugs. And we're in
Yeah.
the middle of
Yeah.
recording Facelift when Andrew Wood died. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, Sunshine's a great fucking song, man. It's great, and the artwork is very, like
It
jarring.
was it's definitely jarring, like from the cover to the back cover. I mean,
And you
I mean
saw,
just
so
that.
you had Music Bank, right? So you've seen the booklet. that has the
Yeah.
original photos of that,
Mm-hmm.
which was supposed to be a composite of all four of them, but at the end of the day, it's just Jerry. And so what they did
Mm-hmm.
to create that image is super interesting. I don't know if you have time to just like get into it, but I'll just condense it. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's Rocky Schenk is the photographer. And so they had rented a house to do the photo shoots, and they got a swimming pool, and they got a giant tarpaulin, like a big
Mm-hmm.
PVC plastic see-through thing. And the idea was to put the band in it and photograph them like coming out of the pool. Um, but they also couldn't breathe because they're like drowning because this plastic is smothering them. And I think he
So
got individual pictures of each guy.
look at that back cover.
That's
That's
it.
exactly it right there.
Yeah.
And it took me the longest time to figure out that that's what it was.
So
And
then it's Jerry's face in there, superimposed and colorized, like created a color negative the way you used to have to before Photoshop and AI and all that bullshit. So really distinctive, really interesting. Ozzy Osbourne listed Facelift as one of his 10 favorite metal albums. Rolling Stone called it one of the 50 greatest albums of the grunge era. Kim Thayil also picked Facelift as one of his favorite albums of the era. So, I mean, like all the building blocks of the band are here, except the unplugged stuff, which we'll get next
yeah,
week at the beginning. Great episode, man. I missed Nick, but we did a good job, I think.
yeah, we miss you, Nick. We miss you. And you know who else misses you? Is Miss Kazari Dancer misses you. So come back, Nick, because I need a lap to sit on. Yeah,
Yikes.
my actressing.
Big yikes,
Anyway.
actressing. I will spare you the indignity, and I will do the outro. You've been listening to the Glacially Musical Podcast. We are not present with our co-host and master host. Master host is a title, not a boast. Nick Boom Boom Cameron. You know where to find him on all the things, especially glacially_musical at Instagram and on Blue Sky. My co-host today was Don DeLamont of Talking the Talk with Don and Southeast of Heaven, websites and blogs and podcasts you ought to pay attention to. You know me, I'm Keefy, a Ghost Cult man. Ghost Cult is 13 today as we record this. Thanks for being a part of this. Thanks for being down with me, whatever that means. And it's the Glacially Musical Podcast. It doesn't play in Peoria, but the Clash of the Titans played in Peoria, and for damn sure, Alice in Chains got booed off the stage there too. God damn it!
That
Rip,
was awesome.
Rip Lane and Rip Mike Starr.